The world is filled with stories of the unknown, tales that send shivers down our spines and make us question the darkness that might lurk just beyond our sight. Few stories are as chilling and enduring as the story of Annabelle, the haunted doll. Locked away behind glass, she seems harmless enough, but her innocent appearance hides a dark and terrifying past. A past filled with unexplained events, malevolent forces, and tragic consequences. The legend of Annabelle has captivated the public's imagination for decades. From whispered rumors to Hollywood blockbusters, the story of this unassuming doll has become synonymous with paranormal horror. But behind the sensationalized headlines and fictionalized accounts lies a real story, one that continues to baffle and terrify those who dare to explore it. This is the story of Annabelle, the real-life haunted doll. The story of Annabelle begins like many other haunted object tales with an unassuming beginning. It was a time when the supernatural was often relegated to the realm of fiction, and few believed in the power of objects to hold malevolent spirits. In the early 1970s, a young nursing student named Donna received a seemingly innocent gift, a Raggedy Ann doll. It was a present from her mother, who thought it would be a comforting companion for her daughter, living away from home for the first time. The doll, with its bright yarn hair and cheerful smile, seemed like a perfect addition to Donna's apartment, a touch of homey comfort. It reminded her of her childhood, a simpler time when dolls were just toys, not vessels for something sinister. Donna placed the doll on her bed, thinking nothing more of it. It was just a doll after all, a harmless gift from her mother. Little did she know that this simple act would unleash a torrent of terrifying events. The doll, which seemed so innocent, would soon become the center of a series of inexplicable and frightening occurrences. At first, the strange occurrences were subtle. A slight movement here, a small change there. It was easy to overlook these minor disturbances. Donna would come home to find the doll in a different position than she had left it. Sometimes it was just a slight shift. Other times it was more noticeable. Sometimes its legs would be crossed. Other times its arms would be in different positions. These changes, though small, were unsettling. These small, unsettling incidents were easily dismissed. Donna and her roommate Angie tried to rationalize them, attributing them to their own forgetfulness, or the doll simply falling over. Donna, like anyone else, brushed them off as coincidences or tricks of the mind. She didn't want to believe that something was wrong. But as the days turned into weeks, the incidents became harder to ignore. The doll's movements grew more pronounced, and the atmosphere in the apartment began to change. The doll was moving, seemingly on its own. It was no longer just a toy, it had become something far more sinister. A sense of unease began to settle over Donna and her roommate Angie. They started to feel a constant presence, an unseen force that seemed to be watching their every move. They couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right, that something was watching them from the corner of the room. Their once harmless gift had become a source of dread, and they knew they had to find out what was behind these terrifying events. The strange movements of the doll were just the beginning. What started as subtle shifts soon escalated into something far more sinister. Soon, Donna and Angie began to notice other unexplained phenomena. It wasn't just the doll, the entire apartment seemed to be alive with an unsettling energy. Handwritten notes scrawled in a childish handwriting began appearing around the apartment. These notes seemed to materialize out of nowhere, adding to the growing sense of unease. The messages were simple but chilling. "Help us" and "help Lou" were common phrases. Each note seemed to carry a weight of desperation and fear. The problem was, neither Donna nor Angie had written them. The notes were an enigma, a puzzle that only deepened their anxiety. The notes were written on parchment paper, a material they didn't even own. This detail made the situation even more perplexing and alarming. Fear began to take root in their hearts. The once cozy apartment now felt like a trap, filled with unseen threats. The playful strangeness of the doll's movements was replaced by a palpable sense of dread. Every corner of the apartment seemed to hide a new terror. Something was wrong, deeply wrong. The air itself seemed thick with an unspoken menace. The girls tried to rationalize the events. They discussed every possible explanation, hoping to find a logical reason behind the occurrences. They searched for logical explanations for any sign of a prankster at work, but their efforts were in vain. But the evidence, or lack thereof, only deepened the mystery. Each unanswered question added to their growing fear. The apartment, once a sanctuary of peace and friendship, became a prison of fear. The walls seemed to close in, amplifying every sound, every creak of the floorboards, every rustle of fabric sending shivers down their spines. The ordinary sounds of the apartment now felt like ominous warnings. They knew instinctively that they were dealing with something beyond the realm of the explainable. The unknown had taken hold of their lives, and there was no turning back. Desperate for answers, Donna and Angie turned to a priest, Father Hagen, for help. They recounted the strange events that had plagued their apartment, the moving doll, the mysterious notes, the growing sense of dread. Father Hagen, a man of faith and reason, listened intently to their story. He could sense their genuine fear, their desperation for a solution. Recognizing that the situation went beyond his expertise, he directed Donna and Angie to contact Ed and Lorraine Warren, renowned paranormal investigators known for their work with cases of demonic haunting. Ed and Lorraine Warren were no strangers to the world of the paranormal. With decades of experience investigating hauntings, possessions, and other unexplained phenomena, the Warrens had become the go-to experts for those seeking answers to the unknown. They had faced down malevolent entities, comforted terrified families, and brought light to some of the darkest corners of human experience. When they received the call from Donna and Angie, they knew they were dealing with something truly extraordinary. Section 5. The Warrens' Verdict. Upon entering Donna and Angie's apartment, the Warrens were immediately struck by a heavy, oppressive atmosphere. The air was thick with a sense of dread, and every corner seemed to whisper of unseen horrors. It was as if the very walls were alive with malevolent intent. Years of experience had taught them to recognize the signs of a haunting, and this case felt different, darker. The usual cold spots and eerie noises were present, but there was an underlying malevolence that set this case apart from others they had encountered. After interviewing the girls and examining the doll, the Warrens came to a chilling conclusion. Annabelle was not possessed by the spirit of a human child, but by an inhuman entity, a demonic force that was using the doll as a vessel to interact with the physical world. This revelation sent shivers down their spines as they realized the true extent of the danger. The entity, the Warrens believed, was not content with simply haunting the apartment. It had a more sinister agenda. The malevolent force was growing stronger, feeding off the fear and anxiety it was causing. It craved a human host, a living vessel through which it could exert its will upon the world. The doll was merely a tool, a means to an end for the demonic entity. It had chosen Annabelle as its conduit, manipulating the doll to instill fear and gain a foothold in the girls' lives. The more fear it generated, the stronger it became and the closer it got to achieving its ultimate goal. The stakes, the Warrens realized, were higher than they had initially thought. This was not just a simple haunting, it was a battle against a powerful and malevolent force that sought to claim the souls of the innocent. This was not just a case of a haunted object, but a battle for the very souls of the young women. The Warrens knew they had to act quickly and decisively to protect Donna and Angie from the evil that had invaded their lives. Section 6. Annabelle's new home. Recognizing the danger posed by the entity attached to Annabelle, the Warrens took immediate action. They had the apartment blessed by a priest to cleanse it of any lingering negative energy. The Warrens then took possession of the doll, removing it from the apartment to prevent further harm. They placed Annabelle in a specially designed case, crafted to contain its malevolent energy. Annabelle was transported to the Warrens Occult Museum in Monroe, Connecticut, a repository of haunted and cursed objects collected over their years of investigations. There, Annabelle remains to this day enclosed in her protective case, a stark reminder of the unseen forces that lurk just beyond the veil of our reality. The case serves as a barrier, preventing the entity from wreaking havoc in the world, but it also serves as a warning, a testament to the very real dangers of dabbling in the unknown. Section 7. The Price of Disrespect. Over the years, the Annabelle doll has become one of the most popular exhibits at the Warren Occult Museum. Thousands of visitors flock to the museum each year, drawn by curiosity and a morbid fascination with the paranormal. But Annabelle's story serves as a stark reminder that the supernatural is not to be trifled with. Numerous accounts tell of visitors who mocked or disrespected the doll, only to suffer tragic consequences shortly after. One such story involves a young man who, after hearing the tales of Annabelle's power, arrogantly banged on the doll's case and challenged it to do its worst. Later that day, while riding his motorcycle home, the young man was involved in a fatal accident. While skeptics may dismiss such stories as mere coincidence or urban legend, believers point to them as proof of Annabelle's malevolent influence, a warning that some forces are best left undisturbed. Section 8. A Legacy of Fear. The story of Annabelle has transcended its humble beginnings to become a cultural phenomenon. Books, documentaries, and Hollywood films have all attempted to capture the terror and intrigue of the haunted doll. But while these fictionalized accounts may embellish or sensationalize certain details, they all point to a single, undeniable truth. The Annabelle doll represents something primal in the human psyche, a fear of the unknown, the unseen forces that we cannot control. Whether you believe in the paranormal or not, there's no denying the chilling effect Annabelle's story has on the imagination. It serves as a reminder that some things are best left undisturbed, that the world is full of mysteries that we may never fully understand. Annabelle's legacy is one of fear, respect, and a healthy dose of caution when it comes to the unknown. Section 9. Beyond Belief. The story of the Annabelle doll, like all good ghost stories, walks a fine line between fact and fiction, belief and skepticism. Some may scoff at the tales of demonic possession and haunted objects, dismissing them as the products of overactive imaginations or clever hoaxes. And it's true, the evidence surrounding Annabelle is largely anecdotal, based on eyewitness accounts and the Warrens' own interpretations of events. But there's something about the story that continues to resonate, to tap into a primal fear of the unknown that transcends logic and reason. Perhaps it's the inherent creepiness of dolls, their lifeless eyes staring into eternity, their painted smiles masking a chilling emptiness. Or perhaps it's the idea that something so innocent, so seemingly benign, could become a vessel for something dark and malevolent. Whatever the reason, the story of Annabelle continues to fascinate and terrify, a stark reminder that the world is full of mysteries that we may never fully comprehend. Section 10. Do you believe? The Annabelle doll remains locked away, a silent sentinel in the Warrens' occult museum. Her beady eyes seem to watch visitors, her painted smile a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of the ordinary. Her story serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder that some forces are best left undisturbed, some doors best left unopened. But it also sparks a question in the hearts of all who hear it. Do you believe? Do you believe in the power of the unknown? The possibility of demonic entities, the very real dangers of dabbling in forces beyond our understanding? The answer, like the doll itself, remains shrouded in mystery, but one thing is for certain: the legend of Annabelle, the real-life haunted doll, will continue to captivate and terrify for generations to come.